how would you feel, the value of DOCSIS 3.1 and 4.0 eventually, and perhaps future iterations, helps the industry really compete with fiber? Because, there's a lot of talk about fiber networks being better, and that's the future. But, what we see is an industry that has, if they have the tools, they can very effectively compete with fiber. Do you have a view on that?
Yes, indeed. So let me go backward. When we started back in 1987, 88, wanted to do high-speed data over residential cable, everyone said, no, 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 you got to go FDI, you got to pull in this your fiber. I would say, well, how are you going to afford it? The cost is unbelievable. And cost still is an issue. The reason we created the cable modems and as a result, a standardization of DOCSIS, that the coax had a significant value, lower cost for the thing. So originally, back in 1990 and 2000 and 2010 and even 2020, the fiber has to start penetrating in, where it used to be 45 and 50, 60 amplifiers. Now we are down to 1 or 2 amplifiers, and the last mile is still coax, and that still saves time because of the architecture of the CMTS and the cable modem and everything else we have. As long as that physical coax is there, the DOCSIS will survive, and DOCSIS has a life, and the DOCSIS/fiber behind it are the lowest possible cost of the high-speed delivery. It goes all the way up to the 14 megabits theoretically, and the existing 4.0 on top of a technology to deliver. So nobody will replace that DOCSIS. The time that DOCSIS will be replaced is where the last mile has come to the last 100 feet, come to the last foot. At that point, you have multiple technology that can bring that in, so the fiber direct to the home would be practical. My own estimate is that perhaps for cable industry, until year 2040, we still have a good life to the DOCSIS to go on, another 15 plus years on that side. And even then, still questionable that some of the network in some part of the country or part of the world might still use the remainder of their coax. There's no reason. Because think about it, at 14 gigabits to home, we used to have that speed to National Science Foundation. I mean, there's really no application or services above and beyond that you would actually need at this point. Also, we will figure it out that because of the scalability of the DOCSIS, and because now we have turned the whole thing to the digital platforms, and there's where your voice and the video also goes across that. So you really have centralized and integrated network management for all the services, all the capabilities. Think about it this way, Netflix was nowhere to be found, and now they have 230 million customers, and all that 230 million customers are going through the pipeline that we have provided. So visibility is very important. I was watching my football this Saturdays and this Sunday, and was a significant technical difficulties on their side of them transmitting that videos. And when I called them and say, hey, what's the story? They said, don't worry, we already and have noticed your area having this type of problem. So that was telling me they were using the tools, and I was very happy to hear that.